Title: AITA for telling my parents they're dead to me after they skipped my wedding to vacation with my brother. Posted by u/throw-ra wedding snub. Welcome to Reddit Junkie, where we post Am I the A-hole stories daily. My 28th wedding was 2 weeks ago. I married my husband Alex, 30M, after being together for 6 years. We had a beautiful ceremony, nothing overly extravagant, but a lot of personal touches that meant the world to us. My in-laws were amazing, helping us set up, calm nerves, and genuinely just being there for me like family should. My own family, my parents both in their 50s and my brother Ethan, 25M. They were in Cabo, on vacation. Yes, they were invited. They got save the dates over a year ago. They were involved in every planning stage. Well, I tried to involve them, but they were disinterested at best. My mother kept making comments like, "We'll see if it actually happens," and, "You're always talking about weddings, not actually getting married." For context, my now husband and I had postponed our wedding twice due to COVID and then a death in his family. But this time, it was solid. 3 months before the wedding, I confirmed everything with them. Flights, accommodations, seating arrangements. My mom texted back a thumbs up emoji. My dad said, "Hope it works out this time." 1 week before the wedding, I still hadn't heard flight details from them. I called. No answer. Texted. No response. 2 days before the ceremony, I get a group selfie from my mom. She, my dad, and Ethan were poolside, fruity drinks in hand, captioned, "Golden hour with our golden boy." I called, furious. No answer. I left a voicemail saying I hope they enjoyed their trip because they were no longer welcome at the wedding. I cried. My husband held me. His family surrounded me. We made it through the day. Actually, we made memories I'll cherish forever. His parents danced with me. His sister helped me with my makeup. His grandfather gave a speech. Then the real drama began. The fallout. 3 days after the wedding, I posted photos online. One was of me and my father-in-law during the father-daughter dance. Another showed my mother-in-law adjusting my veil. Within hours, my parents called. My mom was sobbing, asking how I could humiliate them by letting strangers fill their roles. She said it looked like I replaced them. My dad chimed in saying I'd disrespected the family legacy. I told them they didn't show up. They said they thought I was bluffing about going through with it, that I was always emotional and rushing into things. They genuinely didn't believe the wedding would happen. And when Ethan got offered a last-minute spot on a group trip with his college friends paid for by my parents, they decided that was the better use of their time. My mom said, "You've always been dramatic. We thought you'd understand." Then came the kicker. They accused my husband's family of brainwashing me. That they saw their chance to steal me because I was vulnerable and craving attention. I told them, flat out, that they were dead to me. That I was done chasing their approval, done trying to earn basic affection. That they missed the biggest moment of my life, not because of an emergency, but because of a vacation. I said I wouldn't stop them from having a relationship with future grandchildren if they tried, but I would not facilitate it. I hung up. I haven't answered since. The pressure campaign. Now I'm getting calls from extended family. My mom's sister said I'm overreacting. My dad's cousin said I embarrassed them all by airing private family stuff on social media. Ethan sent me a DM saying I made him look like a selfish idiot and that he's sorry, I feel that way. Even my grandma told me to just have a second ceremony, one they can attend this time, so everyone can heal. No, I'm not redoing my wedding because my parents and brother chose a resort over me. Still, the guilt is there. I can feel it clawing. I want to move on, but I also want to be heard. To have them say, "We messed up." So, Reddit, AITA for telling my parents they're dead to me. Top comments. You, Justice Junkie 89, NTA. They bailed on your wedding for a poolside vacation. You're not overreacting. They underreacted to a life milestone. Your in-laws sound like gems. You, sibling rivalry _94. Golden hour with our golden boy, made me physically cringe. That caption says it all. You didn't replace your parents, they removed themselves. You, real talk Rita. Imagine thinking your daughter won't go through with her own wedding, not out of concern but because you just don't believe in her. Then accusing others of brainwashing her when she does. That's peak narcissism. You, milestone _Mrs. You don't owe anyone a second wedding. Tell your relatives that if they want to throw a party so bad, they can take your parents to Cabo again. You, salt water and tea. Please don't feel guilty. You didn't create this rift. You're just done pretending it's not there. Here's your mini update approximately 100 words said less than an hour later. Mini update. Less than an hour later. So, that didn't take long. My brother found this post. He commented then deleted it about 5 minutes later, saying something along the lines of, "Can't believe you'd air family drama online like this. You always were dramatic. Don't expect mom and dad to forgive you for this. No apology, no explanation, just doubling down and playing victim. To clarify, I didn't name anyone. But if the shoe fits. Anyway, I guess now everyone knows how they really feel. Thanks again for all the support. I'm going to take a break from the comments for now. Update 1 from Op's husband using wife's account. Hi everyone, this is OP's husband. She gave me permission to log in and post this update using her throwaway because she's not in the right headspace to deal with everything that's come crashing down in the last 24 hours. She's been reading the comments, and I know she appreciates the overwhelming support, but she's too upset to write this herself right now. I also want to thank you all personally for the empathy you've shown her. She's a kind, generous, and loving woman, and it's been heartbreaking watching her try to come to terms with what her family did, and are still doing. So here's what's happened since she posted. First, yes, the post made the rounds. We assume someone from our extended family or maybe a friend sent it to her brother because not even 2 hours after she posted, he found it, commented, then deleted the comment shortly after. That already threw her into a bit of a spiral, but what followed really wrecked her. Her parents saw it too, and they were furious. They didn't reach out to her directly at first. They went to our wedding website and sent us an email through the contact form, I kid you not. The message was basically a rant. They said we had embarrassed them publicly, that we were cruel, ungrateful, and had drunk the Kool-Aid of my family, who they believe have brainwashed her into thinking she's better off without them. Her dad said she should be ashamed of turning the internet against her blood, and her mom said if she wanted to act like they're dead to her, then that could be arranged. Yes, that was the actual wording. Then that can be arranged. It read more like a threat than a goodbye. My wife was devastated. She's cried more in the last 24 hours than I've seen her cry in our whole relationship. This isn't just about the wedding, it's everything. Every single insecurity she's ever felt about not being the favored child, every time she thought she was imagining the favoritism or gaslighting herself into believing she was overreacting, it's all being confirmed in real time. Her brother didn't just comment on Reddit. He also texted her, a novel of a text. He doubled down on everything. He said we were disrespectful, accused us of exaggerating the situation, and then implied the only reason my wife was upset was because she's jealous of his bond with their parents. He said, and I quote, "You've always been dramatic. That's why they didn't think the wedding was real. You've backed out of things before. Why should they have wasted the money? My wife never backed out of anything. She's responsible, she handles everything. Our entire wedding, the real one, was entirely paid for by us. No loans, no help. She worked 2 jobs at one point to make it happen. The parents are now saying they want a private family sit down to work things out. But my wife doesn't trust them, and frankly, neither do I. They didn't want to come to her wedding because they didn't believe it would happen. They missed one of the biggest days of her life to go on a vacation with their son, and now that they're being called out publicly, now they want to fix things. She doesn't owe them a second wedding. She doesn't owe them her pain. And now that people are reading this, they're suddenly worried about how they look. I'll be honest, I don't know where we go from here. Right now, I'm just doing everything I can to support her and remind her that she didn't do anything wrong. We're both in therapy. We started couples therapy before the wedding just to strengthen communication and stress management, and now she's booking individual sessions too. I encouraged it, because I think she needs a space where she can process this without all the noise. We didn't want drama. We just wanted to be married, surrounded by people who love and support us. And that's exactly what happened, even if her family couldn't be bothered to show up. The past 24 hours have made one thing clear: she deserves better than the way they've treated her. Thank you again for supporting her, and us. I'll update again if anything major happens. But right now, we're focusing on each other. Husband. Update 2. Response from the brother and parents. We weren't going to say anything, but after seeing the overwhelming comments tearing apart our family over one side of the story, we feel the need to finally speak up. We are the bride's parents and her older brother. First of all, this has been extremely upsetting for all of us. We understand that emotions were high, but what has been said about us online is nothing short of slanderous. We were invited to the wedding, yes, but things weren't as clear-cut as our daughter made them sound. She has always had a flair for the dramatic, and this post she made just proves it. There was a lot of back and forth in the months leading up to the wedding. At one point, she even said they might postpone it due to finances and stress, and honestly, we took that seriously. We didn't think it was actually going ahead. When the opportunity came up to go on a family trip with our son, the one people keep calling the golden child, we said yes. We thought she would understand. It was a last-minute deal, and it was an opportunity to spend some time as a family. To be clear, we never intended to hurt her. But the comments online are painting us like we're narcissists or monsters. None of you know the full story. Reddit doesn't know our family, And yet here everyone is, acting like judges and juries, throwing around words like gaslighting and favoritism without context. As for her brother, let me just say that this whole thing has gotten out of hand. I love my sister, but she's always seen everything as a competition. Yes, our parents have helped me out, but that doesn't mean they don't love her. It's just that I've always had more responsibilities, and they know they can count on me. That's not favoritism, it's trust. And I resent being made out to be some villain just for going on a holiday. Now, about the groom's family. We've noticed they've been given a lot of praise for supporting her, but let's be honest, none of this would be happening if they hadn't driven a wedge between our daughter and us. Ever since she started dating him, she changed. She became distant, secretive, and frankly, disrespectful. We're not going to beg to be in her life. If she wants to cut us off over this, that's her choice. But we hope people reading this remember that there are always two sides to every story, and not everything you read online is gospel truth. We love our daughter. We always have. We just didn't expect she'd throw us under the bus like this. Top comments. Top comments. UT with spite. You're missing the entire point. She invited you to her wedding. She made space for you in one of the most important days of her life, and you chose a vacation instead. That's not miscommunication, that's neglect. You, loyal to the bride. What's wild is how none of you are even pretending to take accountability. You've clearly never been called out before, and it shows. Your daughter isn't being dramatic, she's standing up for herself for once. You, not a golden fan. Trust is not an excuse for blatant favoritism. The tone of this update makes it clear why your daughter needed to cut you off. I hope she sees these comments and realizes she's not alone. UT with spite reply exactly. And calling the groom's family manipulative for supporting your daughter. That's called having a decent support system. Maybe if you'd done your job, she wouldn't have had to rely on them. You, loyal to the bride reply. The audacity of saying Reddit doesn't know the full story while providing nothing that justifies abandoning your daughter on her wedding day is unreal. You're proving her point with every sentence. Update 3 a few weeks later. Posted by original poster. Hi everyone, it's been a few weeks since I last posted, and honestly, I needed that time to decompress and take everything in. Your messages of support, advice, and encouragement have meant more to me than I can express. I never imagined sharing my story would resonate with so many people. A lot has happened since everything blew up. After my last update, where my husband used my account to share how devastated I was, things reached a boiling point. The post gained way more attention than we ever anticipated. It started circulating in places I didn't even know existed, and, inevitably, someone from my extended family found it. That kicked off a chain reaction. At first, my parents and brother doubled down. They were furious, not because they regretted what they did, but because they were embarrassed. Embarrassed that so many strangers saw what they'd done. They called it airing family laundry for attention, and my mother sent me a long message saying I was manipulated by my husband's side of the family and read it into believing they were bad people. She even accused my mill of brainwashing me, and said my brother was devastated that I would twist the narrative to make him look like the villain. But here's the thing, I didn't twist anything, I told the truth. When they posted their own side of the story, they genuinely seemed surprised by how people reacted. I think, for the first time, they were being publicly challenged instead of blindly supported. It hit them harder than they expected. And then, silence. For a while. Then, slowly, the apologies started rolling in. My dad was first. His message was stiff and formal, but it was something. He admitted they handled things poorly, and said he regretted making assumptions about our wedding. I could tell it was difficult for him to write, and while it wasn't a full apology, it was the most accountability I'd seen from him in years. My mother followed a few days later. Hers was more emotional. She talked about being overwhelmed, how she didn't want to choose sides between her children, and how she felt left out and unimportant. I think it's hard for her to acknowledge that she's been playing favorites for decades. That message ended with, I hope we can talk again someday, when things are calmer. As for my brother, silence. Nothing from him. Not even a comment after all of this. Not surprised, but still disappointed. We're not rushing into reconciliation. I've told them I need time, and I've also made it clear that apologies are only the beginning. If they want a relationship, it has to be on mutual terms. No guilt, no gaslighting, no more favoritism. My husband and I are creating a home built on honesty and love. If they can't respect that, then they don't belong in it. The good news is that throughout all this, my bond with my husband's family has only grown stronger. His parents have been by our side through every moment. His sisters helped plan a small dinner party to celebrate our marriage, just us, a few close friends, and family who actually showed up. It wasn't a do-over wedding, like my parents wanted. It was just love and laughter and no drama. It was perfect. So many of you said in the comments that sometimes the family you create is more important than the one you're born into. That really stuck with me. I'm choosing my peace. I'm choosing my happiness. And if that means some people have to stay out of my life, then so be it. Thank you all again for every message, comment, and kind word. Reddit strangers have given me more validation and emotional clarity than some of my own blood relatives ever did. You reminded me that I'm not wrong for setting boundaries. That I'm not selfish for protecting my mental health. That I deserve better. Here's to healing, growth, and the next chapter, with people who choose me the way I've always chosen them. Op ring.